Hello YouTube family, Merry Christmas and a huge Happy New Year to all of you. With the 2026 World Cup on the way, the energy in the football world is already building and we are thrilled to be sharing it with this amazing community. To celebrate, we have lined up some holiday surprises in the Goal 90 shop. A bunch of your favourite jerseys are already up to 50% off. Shipping is on us, and because you are part of our YouTube fam, you can grab an extra 10% off with the code YouTubeFam. Thanks for all the love and support. 2026 is going to be massive. Let's enjoy every moment together. For months, it was pretty clear that Antoine Semenyo would be leaving Bournemouth in January, but throughout this period everyone thought he'd be moving to either Man United or Liverpool, as they were the ones knocking the hardest. But as the transfer window got closer and closer, other clubs started to show interest. Chelsea inquired, Man City pressed, and well, with all the options in front of him, the player chose Manchester City, and after his decision was made, everything started to move very quickly. But what we want to know now is why Manchester City have decided to sign Antoine Semenyo in the January transfer window. Well, first of all, they are in a heated title race, and they know they have to do more if they really want to beat Arsenal to the title this time. They know that this Arsenal team is much better than the ones they have been in title races with in the past, so they will have to work twice as hard to leapfrog them on the table, hence why they're going out to sign another top attacker halfway into the season. Semeno has already proven himself in the Premier League, and with a smaller club too. Naturally, it is expected that he'll do much better when surrounded by better players and guided by a better coach at City. Right now, he's third for most goals in the Premier League, while playing for a Bournemouth side that's 15th on the table. He has scored 8 goals from an XG of 5.36. This shows that he knows how to score goals out of nothing, which is a trait that might come in handy at City. Yes, Man City creates a lot of chances. In fact, they have 2 players in the top 3 for most big chances created in the league this season. But in some games where the opponent set up in a very low block, a player who can score from nothing will be very important, because in those game states, Haaland usually cannot do much. Semeno has also missed just 5 big chances this season. The 2 players who have scored more goals than him in the league this season have missed more than him. Haaland has missed 17 while Igor Thiago has missed 8. Even Mateta, Calvert-Lewin, Salah, Watkins, Voltemade and Mbeumo, who have scored fewer goals than him this season, have missed more big chances than Semeno. So you could say that he is not a very wasteful player in front of goal, and on top of that, he is very versatile. Semeno is a natural left winger who can play as a right winger and even as a 9. He can also play as a left or right wing back in a 3-5-2 setup. So with him in the squad, the coach can be as flexible as he wants with his tactics and setup. And remember, he can shoot with both feet and his ball striking is absolutely nuts. He almost always hits the ball cleanly with any foot and from any angle. A player like this is a manager's delight, so we're not surprised that Pep is pushing for him. Semeno will definitely help him rotate properly. For example, with Doku just returning from injury, Semeno's presence in the team will help manage the Belgians' minutes properly until he's 100% fit. With Marmoush away for the AFCON, he can act as the Haaland backup in the meantime, or if Cherki or Foden gets injured, he can easily fill in for them. Speaking of injuries, Semeno is one player who has hardly struggled with injuries throughout his career. He's always available. The last time he sustained an injury was back in 2022. That's almost 4 years ago now. Being available and reliable is one very underrated quality to have as a player, especially in a club like Man City. No big club wants to sign a player who is in and out of the hospital. Now, we have mentioned on more than one occasion that Man City have been too dependent on Haaland for goals, and it is important that they solve that problem before they get to the business end of the season. I mean, what will happen when the opponents mark Haaland completely out of the game? Or if he picks up an injury and has to miss some big games? For this reason, it's important that City don't only have creators, but also have goal scorers apart from Haaland. Be finding his scoring boots again, which is great, but even then, they still need more. The goals need to be spread across multiple players. This is why adding Semeno to the fold seems like a fantastic idea. Doku, Savinho and Cherki create more than they score, but a player like Semeno brings a different dynamic to Man City's wing play. He likes to carry, drive into the box and make attempts on goal. Players like this are often very useful. He's also a very good dribbler. This season he ranks in the top 10 for most successful dribbles in the league, and that's how he has got some of his goals. Those quick feet will surely be beneficial to Man City, and for those who say Pep will stifle his creativity and freedom of expression, that's just not true. Doku is the second best dribbler in the Premier League this season and he plays under Pep. So we're pretty sure Semenyo will be just fine. Another reason Man City went for the Ghanaian attacker is because of his strength and his work rate. If you notice, in recent times Pep has been favouring players with a high work rate, which is why Bernardo Silva plays almost all the games and why he doesn't joke with the likes of Matheus Nunes and Jeremy Doku. Pep's philosophy has since changed and he now requires his players to run a lot more and exert a lot more energy. A few weeks back it was reported that Man City had covered more distance than any other team in the Premier League this season, so watching how he has played for Bournemouth and Ghana, you can already tell that Semenyo will fit right into this new-looking Pep team. The former Sunderland man is generally very impactful out of possession. Among forwards in the Premier League this season, he's in the top 5 for most ground duels won and top 10 for most aerial duels won. So even when he's not scoring, you'll still definitely be feeling his presence. Players like this are always very important. On top of all that, he has that extra edge about him because he's a big game player and a player that can make things happen all by himself. He loves to score, but more importantly, he loves to score against big teams. This season he has scored twice against Liverpool and once against Man United. And those goals were all high-quality goals out of almost nothing. Last season he scored against Chelsea, United and even City themselves, while he produced assists against Arsenal, Chelsea and Newcastle. He loves those big stages and he hardly fails to turn up under the brightest lights. Players like this will be very valuable for those big Champions League nights. And remember, Semenyo was born in England and he has played in England all his life, so he won't need any time to adjust at all. He knows the league, the language, the culture, all of that. This is why he'll naturally be a much better option for City than Rodrigo, for example, especially halfway into the season. And, well, the last time Man City went shopping at Bournemouth, they got Nathan Ake, who turned out to be a very solid and versatile player, so we're not surprised that they're going back there years later. Finally, at that price, Antoine Semenyo is just an absolute steal, so you can understand why Man City insisted on him. A 25-year-old Prem-proven player of his quality for just about £65 million is definitely a steal in today's market. This is why all the top clubs in the league were falling over each other to get his signature. Also, he was on £75,000 per week at Bournemouth. Even with a bump in his wage, it'll still be an affordable fee for Manchester City. Honestly, the Mancunians have just really got themselves a good deal with this one, and we're sure all their rivals are very jealous right now. But we now want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think going for Semenyo was the right play for City? Will he perform well at Manchester? How many goals and assists do you think he'll end the season with? Get in the comments and talk to us. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye. Hello YouTube family, Merry Christmas and a huge Happy New Year to all of you. With the 2026 World Cup on the way, the energy in the football world is already building and we are thrilled to be sharing it with this amazing community. To celebrate, we have lined up some holiday surprises in the Goal 90 shop. A bunch of your favourite jerseys are already up to 50% off. Shipping is on us, and because you are part of our YouTube fam, you can grab an extra 10% off with the code YouTubeFam. Thanks for all the love and support. 2026 is going to be massive. Let's enjoy every moment together.